things need to be corrected. And you don't wake up one day and decide that you're going to do those things that cost millions of dollars. You have to say that, as she stated, Benton Township was getting charged with a surcharge and saving up that money in banking. What were we doing? Why didn't we foresee this years ago?
I think we can't blame the current commission. It goes down, like as I said, back in the 1970s. But we also have to understand, when you take a loan at the bank for your car or something, you have to pay that loan back, correct? Benton Harbor took out loans and bonds to fix their water plant. So this is part of the burden that we have to pay. We have to pay back for what we took and take it out. So that's what a lot of the burden is. Yes, the township is leaving us. Yes, Fairplain Township or St. Joe Township may be leaving us, but we also have to pay back some of the bonds and everything. It's going to be a burden, but there's not an immediate fix or a long-term fix that we can do. We have to pay it back. It's like if you buy a car and you don't pay your loan back, they're going to come and repo it. They might take over our water department. The state could take over if we don't pay that loan back. It's like having something and not paying for it. So that's what I say.
Mr. Gill, did you want to respond?
Yes, I believe that just harkens back to the reason why we need to have the finance director, the clerk, and the city attorney reporting to the city manager, so we can have that accountability. So there isn't someone we have the blame game, passing the buck, saying, well, I didn't know, and they were blocking, and they told him not to work with me. Well, accountability, that's in government. And that's how you get that, by having that. So it needs to be consistent and it needs to be effective.
Okay. Mr. Sanderson, do you have an additional comment you'd like to make? Since they did, do you have an additional?
I was just going to say, too, the township left, but I also saw an opportunity to recoup some of that money with the Harbor Shores project in terms of them actually paying for the water that they were getting instead of pumping it from the Pt.4 River. I mean, you let a project like that come and and I'm in support of it, but one ways we could have generated revenues would have been from actually charging them for the water. Thank you.
Ms. Henderson has anticipated my question. Harbor Shores. I would ask each of you to say whether you feel Harbor Shores is a positive influence or a negative influence with the city of Benton Harbor, and I'll ask you also to discuss what the proper relationship should be between the city, and particularly the city commission, and Harbor Shores. Mr. Gill, we think it's your turn to speak.
Okay, can you repeat the question?
Yes, Harbor Shores, friend or foe, and what should the relationship be between the City Commission and Harbor Shores?
Okay, while this question is about Harbor Shores specifically, I'm a friend of Harbor Shores, but I'm a friend of any business that's going to be a good corporate citizen, a citizen of this community. And what was it?
What should the relationship be? How should the City Commission work with Harbor Shores? What should their relationship be?
It should be a business type relationship in which they're working with Harbor Shores or any other business to determine the viability and what that business is doing for or not doing for the city. So it needs to be a positive working relationship. It shouldn't be a name game or blame game, or they took this from us when it was obviously given. It was allowed to be given. So now that you gave it, now you work with them to help make this city a better place.
Okay, Mr. Bowen.
I think Harbor Shores has the potential to be something massive here. My only question is, what will you, the citizens of Benton Harbor, get from Harbor Shores? I think that's some of everybody's thing. When you talk to the residents, they're fearful of Harbor Shores. Let's be honest, a lot of residents think they're going to be moved out, displaced, higher taxes, and everything of that nature. They're fearful. I think the relationship that should be with Harbor Shores is an open communication relationship. I think it's the old quote that says, hand in hand, together we can, or together everyone achieves more. And if we're all working together, we can get that one goal of making that Benton Harbor that we all envision, a vibrant Benton Harbor.
I think the relationship that the City Commission should have with Harbor Shores should be one of a business one. They have interest in the city, and I think that as long as we as the governing body is equally participating in making better decisions concerning our residents and the interest of the city of Benton Harbor, I think, I'm all for it in terms of them coming in and doing their project. I think it'll be great revenues that'll come in from them actually being here, but then it goes back to, again, economic development and creating opportunities for our small businesses and the residents that live here through those type of projects. So that's what I think. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'll ask the first question from an audience member. What is your outlook on better education for the young? Teachers, schools, books, advanced learning. There are like 3 questions on this card, but that's the first one. What is your outlook on better education for the young? Mr. Bowens, would you like to start?
That's a good question. Although city government does not deal with education, what affects the city government affects the school district and vice versa. What our test scores determines if people want to send their kids to our schools. I think Dr. Seawood, along with Cambridge, has implemented a wonderful plan, and I say we're going to start to see a change. I think our students should be receiving a quality 21st century education and one of the top educations. I think Benton Harbor is on that route to be #1 like we were before.
I think within a city, you can't build a city and not build its educational system. So I think that is going to be key, because you want to produce young people who are top of the line, who have access to the latest digital technology. So you can't build a city without building this educational base, because people who will be employed will be people coming out of our school system. So you can't build one without the other anyway. Thank you.
My outlook on the education of the city of Benton Harbor is great, because we're going to have a safe city, we're going to have productive government, we're going to have people wanting to come back to this city that are going to be paying taxes, which is going to help the tax base, which is going to help the educational system.
I have several cards that address the very same issue. So though I usually read the questions verbatim, I'm going to condense them because some of them are kind of long, but they boil down to this. Several people in the audience are concerned to know how each of you would be able to deal or work with members of the commission with whom you may have strong disagreements. So there's a question, how would you keep your cool? Or how would you work with people with whom you've had angry words with? What would you do, or what would you have to do in order to work together? It's highly likely that when the next commission is elected, there will be representatives of several points of view. And please be as specific as you can.
I think that that's one of the keys to actually being a city leader. You're going to have many people, not just city commissioners, of whom you'll have an opposite or different opinion about a particular view. The ideas that we have is what makes us unique and what makes us human, and what allows us to create. So having differences of opinions and disagreeing with someone for what they think or their ideas. I think you will do that, and I think that's part of the process. I think it's also a good thing. I think the way in which you do it has been the issue. Showing the type of emotions that we've seen in the past is not intelligent, and I don't think it's good for anybody, particularly being in a leadership position. Young people are watching you, and so they're learning how to react to things based on you as a city commissioner or any leader is responding to things. I think it's something that any person, if you're married, it's the same kind of concept. You can't blow your spouse out of the water, somebody gonna be sleeping on the couch. So I think, you deal with people based on who they are and knowing that they are gonna have difference of opinion. And that is how you get things done, because they bring something to the table that you don't. So, thank you.
As an elected official, you're given a huge amount of responsibility and trust. And you have to be able to separate what your individual ideology is and be able to work with someone, even if you have differing opinions. Those opinions matter, my opinions matter, but at the end of the day, you have to get together and deal with the issue. Whether it's water, whether it's public safety, whether it's the educational system, police or fire. You have to have your opinion, but then you still have to do the people's business. So you can express your opinion, you can say what you need to say, but when you go in the room, you need to do and take care of business.
I think a lot of residents were fed up with that child mentality, but I also got to be clear. A lot of residents are asking how do we work with the commission. I think there is a majority willing to work with the commission. I think we have two that don't, if I'm correct. And we have to understand, what if Barack Obama, our President Obama, didn't come to the city commission meetings or didn't do anything because he didn't get along with Republicans or something of that nature? We got to be, that childish mentality, bashing and name bashing, we got to get rid of that. We got to show our maturity in city government. We got to be willing to get ready to open up. That's the way we're acting. How is that going to make businesses come to Benton Harbor? I'm a negotiator, I'm reasonable, and when I'm city commissioner, I intend to work for all the people and all the commissioners.
I'm in disagreement with this statement about two. Previous to five, not working with the two.
When you look, starting on November 8th, we go back to June 2007, 2008. It was two commissioners that filed a vote of no confidence. Then we have one of those commissioners running for mayor. Those same two commissioners are not attending the meeting. However, those same two commissioners are, working with Joe Harrison. There's nothing against it. I actually like Commissioner Brian Joseph. I actually like Pastor Hightower. But that notion that we set aside, letting the public know that our government, because we didn't agree with that ideology, how that cowboy diplomacy works and everything, that turns people off. It made it look like you're superior or you think you're better than everybody else. And that's what made Benton Harbor it is. That's why the residents want to know, what can we do to resolve the situation and work together? It doesn't look like two people have been working together, with all due respect. When you go to those commission meetings, you have a majority but two commissioners there. I may be wrong, but I've been to the city commission meeting. I don't know if you've been lately, but I've been.
I have been to one, and it wasn't a happy turnout. When I voiced my opinion about the attempt to get rid of the ex-city manager, Martin. So I disagree. Perhaps it's the five that are the two, and I've been to YouTube and I've seen the preaching, the pontificating, 15 minutes each person or longer, but not dealing with any of the facts, not dealing with any of the issues of why we are here today with an EFM. And then we blame the EFM for the fact that he's here. He didn't ask to come here. He was appointed because we are in dire need. We're in financial hurt right now, and he's getting us out of that. So he's doing good. And once he's gone, it's our job to deal with the people.
We're going to move on.
Okay.
Thank you. I think it's obvious the debate that you two have, but we have many more questions, and we'll proceed.